Imagine you go up to someone in real life and ask them a question of some kind. Either you need information or want to hang out at some point. Naturally, the person will be expected to reply in some way. Now, there are exceptions to this, like if your girlfriend is giving you the silent treatment or something, but generally speaking, you're supposed to respond. And if you don't do that, if you just willingly choose to ignore someone when they're right there trying to talk to you, that would be seen as kind of weird, right? Well, for some reason, this expectation does not carry over to digital communication. Now, I'm not talking about people who just take a long time to respond, like several hours or maybe even a whole day. Messaging is a slow-paced form of communication, so I don't mind if people don't respond immediately. I'm talking about the people who don't respond to your message at all, like they either leave it on read or don't even open it to begin with. Now, yes, I understand that nobody owes me a conversation, and that sometimes people just don't feel like responding at this particular moment, but I feel like messaging should still generally be treated like a regular face-to-face conversation. Like, yeah, you don't have to reply immediately, but you should still be expected to reply at some point. Now, yes, there are exceptions to this, just like with a regular conversation, like maybe someone doesn't use a certain messaging app very often and doesn't pay attention to what they're receiving on it, or in the case of people leaving you on read, sometimes they do it because they're mad at you or because you asked a really stupid question or you asked them out and that's their way of rejecting you. I mean, that's kind of a harsh way of rejecting someone, but still, all valid reasons to ignore someone. But in recent years, people have become really irresponsible with how they handle messaging. It is infuriating how many times I've texted someone to ask them for information or to help me with something or even just to hang out, and they just never opened the message. And then I talk to them in person a week later and they're like, "Oh, sorry, I never saw your message." Like, how is it that in the year 2025, people are still missing messages? I know you check your phone every 20 minutes and that you have notifications enabled. How can you possibly miss something that's literally designed to be easily noticeable? Now, to be fair, some messaging apps can be glitchy and not always properly deliver notifications, but in that case, make a habit of opening your main messaging apps 2-3 times a day and checking what you haven't read. I've also heard some people say they get a lot of messages, which makes it hard for them to keep track of notifications, and I kind of find that hard to believe unless you're literally getting a new text every 5 minutes. But even if that's true, refer to what I just said, because sometimes I need something urgently from someone and it's really annoying when I can't reach them because they're ignoring their inbox. What's even worse is when they do see your message and they do read it, but then they just never respond because they, I don't know, don't feel like it, I guess. It doesn't happen super often, but when it does, who are you trying to fool? Because I'm trying to have a conversation with you and talk to you like a normal human being. Normally, you're supposed to respond when people do that. Like, I'm not just leaving a fucking Christmas card in your mailbox. Seriously, why did we make it cool for people to act like this? It's like people's communication skills are actively degrading. Now, sometimes what happens is that people read the message but then get distracted and forget to respond, but I feel like you can fix that by responding as soon as you read the message and not setting it aside and then forgetting about it. But what if I'm not in the mood for a conversation? Well, nobody's saying you have to have the whole conversation right there on the spot. Just respond with a few words to acknowledge the person and have the conversation at a later time after they reply. It's really not that complicated. I remember a few years ago, I was doing a research study with my friend, and we needed people to participate in the study, so I made a post on Reddit asking if anyone was interested. And someone asked me a question about the study, so I relayed it to my friend because she knew more about the study than I did. And she said she was going to reply to him, but then 3 days later, she still hadn't done it, so I messaged her like, "Hey, can you reply to that dude? It's been 3 days." And she's like, "Oh, is that how Reddit works?" No, that's how human conversation works. I don't know why it's so difficult for people to respond to messages consistently and within a reasonable time frame, because somehow I never have this issue. I don't miss messages. If you write to me, you're getting a response within 24 hours guaranteed. Now, maybe this is just because I'm terminally online, but that's not the point. If I can do it, you can do it as well. The only time I left someone on read was my grandma, and only because she asked me to make a decision about something and I wasn't able to decide, so I never got back to her. Now, in retrospect, I should have messaged her and said, "Hey, I need some time to choose. I'll get back to you later." So, yeah, sorry, Grandma. Ultimately, we're in the digital age, where communication is faster and more accessible than ever. And again, despite it being called instant messaging, I don't expect anyone to instantly answer my texts. It's their choice when and how they reply to a message. But that doesn't mean they should leave people hanging out of their own laziness and ignorance. So if you're one of those people constantly missing and ignoring messages, I'm sorry, but please do better. Because a digital conversation is still a conversation and should maintain the same level of courtesy and respect that a regular one does. And that's the end of this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, definitely consider hitting that like and subscribe button. If you want to support the channel additionally, you can leave a super thanks under this video or check one of the links in the description. As always, this is your captain speaking, and I'll see you later.